The story of great leaders and iconic artists is often told through their triumphs, their grandiose achievements, their overwhelming victories over the world. But what almost no one shows is the pain that precedes this greatness. The moment of ruin, the brutal fall that forces them to look within, find the deepest darkness and somehow transform all of this into rebirth. Beyoncé, the woman who today represents power, self-confidence and absolute success, also went through this phase. And it was precisely this phase that shaped her to become the legend we know today. Think for a moment. How many times have you felt like the world was against you? That no matter how hard you try, things just fall apart? Beyoncé was exactly in this place, before becoming the most awarded solo artist in Grammy history, before becoming a symbol of independence and strength. She faced a personal and professional ruin that almost destroyed her. Destiny's Child, the group that projected her to the world, was her biggest childhood dream. Since she was little, she dedicated herself to exhaustive rehearsals, sacrificed her adolescence, and lived for that dream. But when fame came, it also brought instability, internal conflicts, betrayals, and the relentless pressure of the music industry. Each departure of a member, each controversy, each harsh criticism from the media were direct blows to her self-esteem. In the eyes of the world, Beyoncé was a rising star, but inside she began to doubt herself. The emotional impact of the fall. When the original lineup of Destiny's Child broke up, the media was relentless. Journalists pointed to Beyoncé as the great villain, insinuating that her ambition had harmed the former members. Social media was just beginning, but the tabloids were already cruel enough to make her question herself. Was everything she believed and dreamed of falling apart? What if the public really hated her? What few know is that during this phase, Beyoncé went through a period of silent depression. She stopped recognizing herself, her confidence was shaken, and her mind was dominated by a paralyzing fear of failure. But life didn't wait for her to recover. The industry demanded her next move. And then came her biggest test, starting a solo career. The pain of betrayal, a blow that changed everything. When Beyoncé finally began to rebuild as a solo artist, her personal life was devastated. The betrayal of Jay-Z, her great love, came to light. The man with whom she built a history and an empire had betrayed her. But the most painful thing was not just the betrayal itself, but the internal questioning. How could a woman who always valued perfection, discipline, and total control of her life have not noticed the signs? Was she insufficient? Was she just another victim of a love that could not resist power and fame? This pain was not only emotional. Beyoncé closed herself off, sought refuge in her art, and transformed this pain into the iconic album Lemonade. And here comes the lesson that everyone needs to learn. Pain is inevitable, but what you do with it is what defines your destiny. Beyoncé could have closed herself off and allowed her pain to consume her, but she chose to rebuild herself, express herself, and transform vulnerability into strength. Life lessons. The key to turning things around. What happened to Beyoncé is a reflection of our own journey. In the life lessons method, there are mental and emotional triggers that explain why pain can be transformative. Pain and reward. Human beings seek pleasure and run away from pain. But, paradoxically, it is pain that leads us to the greatest transformations. Beyoncé used betrayal and humiliation as fuel to create something immortal. Belonging and rejection. When she was criticized for the departure of the members of Destiny's Child, she found herself rejected by an audience that had previously applauded her. This pain could have destroyed her, but it drove her to search for her true identity, freedom and control. Beyoncé realized that she would never have complete control over the actions of others, but she could have control over her reaction. By turning her story into art, she took control of her narrative, validation and love. Deep down, we all seek to be loved and recognized, but before we seek this from others, we need to recognize ourselves. Beyoncé needed to see herself beyond betrayal and rejection to regain her strength. The challenge for you: how do you react to your pain? Now, bring this story to your life. We all have moments of ruin, situations that make us doubt ourselves. But the question is, are you letting the pain destroy you, or are you turning it into fuel? Comment here. What was the most difficult moment of your life? What did you learn from it? Share your story, and let's grow stronger together. Beyoncé has always been a symbol of overcoming obstacles, but few people know the price she paid to make her dreams come true. From a very young age, she understood that the path to success is paved with challenges, pain, and difficult choices. But how did a girl from Houston manage to become one of the greatest artists of all time? The answer lies in her ability to resist, reinvent herself, and transform pain into power. Imagine yourself in her shoes, a girl full of dreams, but who, in order to achieve them, had to give up the simple moments of her youth. While other children played, she rehearsed. While friends went out, she practiced her voice until exhaustion. The first major emotional impact on her life was rejection. At the beginning of her career, Beyoncé saw her first musical group, Girls' Time, fail on a talent show. What could have been the end of her journey became the fuel that drove her. Her father, Matthew Knowles, took over the management of her career, imposing an almost military-like discipline. It was intense training, a relentless pursuit of perfection. Many doubted her, others gave up, but she remained steadfast. And herein lies a great lesson. Failures do not define you. Your response to them does. Life lessons explain why this story resonates so much with us. Within every human being, there is a constant struggle between pain and pleasure, between security and adventure. Beyoncé inspires us because she represents the strength of those who dare to go beyond fear. Her story triggers deep emotional feelings, identification, I too have been rejected, inspiration, if she could do it, so can I, and belonging. I am part of this journey. But it was not all about effort. The price of the dream also manifested itself in painful ways. Beyoncé faced crises of confidence, moments when she doubted herself. Her father taught her that life at the top is lonely, and that few would understand what it is like to live under constant pressure. For years, she sacrificed nights of sleep, relationships with friends, and even moments of rest. But she knew that great achievements require great sacrifices. And here's the big question for you. How willing are you to fight for your dream? Many people give up at the first obstacle, letting themselves be carried away by fear or by the opinions of others. Beyoncé teaches us that the true winner is the one who keeps going, even when everything seems to be going wrong. The emotional impact of this journey makes us reflect on our own lives. If you've ever gone through moments of doubt, fear, or rejection, know that these feelings are part of the process. But just like Beyoncé, you can transform these pains into steps towards your ascension. Now, I want to hear from you. What was the most difficult moment you faced on your journey? What did you learn from it? Comment below and share your story. Your testimony can inspire others not to give up on their dreams. The world sees the shine, the glory, the trophies. But what no one sees are the tears hidden behind the scenes, the sleepless nights, the pain of solitary sacrifice. Beyoncé, an undisputed icon of music and entertainment, did not reach the top by talent alone. There is a brutal truth that few are ready to hear. The path to greatness is paved by silent abdications. The price of excellence, a cruel choice. Imagine yourself on a stage in front of thousands of fans screaming your name. The lights are on. Your every move is celebrated. Each note is chanted as if it were a prayer. But before that moment, there were countless hours of rehearsal, days of exhaustion, body aches, moments when doubt whispered in your ear and tested your resilience. Beyoncé went through it. From her Destiny's Child days, when she would rehearse, fun till her feet bled, to today when every performance is a spectacle of perfection, she has learned a hard lesson. To be extraordinary, you have to pay a price that most are not willing to pay. This is where the life lessons methodology comes in, which explains how human emotions guide our choices. Beyoncé deeply understood the concept of the desire for recognition, the innate human need to feel valued. But she also experienced the pain of discipline, the fear of rejection, and the compulsion to push limits. Each of these factors was used to her advantage to shape the artist that the world knows. The loneliness of the great, the burden of those who lead, It's a cruel paradox. The higher you reach, the more alone you become. People see success, but they don't see the loneliness that accompanies it. The path to greatness is also a path of sacrifice. Beyoncé sacrificed precious moments of her youth to become an icon. While her friends were having fun, she was rehearsing. While many were enjoying their weekends, she was studying every detail of her art. And the most striking thing, while others were sleeping, she was working. And here lies the great reflection. What are you willing to give up to get where you want to be? Many want applause, but few are willing to endure the silence of training. Many want recognition, but few have the courage to face doubt and insecurity. This is the invisible test that separates those who have dreams from those who make them come true. Emotional fatigue, the dark side of determination. The relentless pursuit of perfection has an immeasurable emotional cost. Beyoncé, despite being the strong and imposing woman the world knows, has faced crises, doubts, and moments of extreme exhaustion. She herself revealed that there are times when she feels drained, consumed by her own art. But it is at this point that the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is revealed. The weak give up, the strong move forward. This is a powerful concept within life lessons. The struggle between comfort and fulfillment. The human brain craves immediate pleasure, but the greatest achievements are the fruit of momentary pains that lead to lasting glory. The invitation. To reflection, what is your price? Now I ask you, are you willing to pay the price to reach the top? Are you prepared to give up comfort, your safety zone, and the distractions that keep you from your dreams? Beyoncé made a choice to live for her passion regardless of the price. Now the choice is yours. Share in the comments. What is your biggest dream and what are you willing to do to achieve it? This is the time to change. This is the time to act. Because greatness is not for those who wish, it is for those who decide. Like, share, and subscribe. Because Beyoncé's story is not just about her, it is about you. About who you can become, about what you can achieve. And remember, the price of greatness may be high, but the reward is infinite. Beyoncé always knew that her journey wasn't just about music. Every note, every performance, every fall and rebirth were part of something much bigger, a legacy. But there was a defining moment, an instant of absolute clarity, when everything changed forever. That was the moment she understood the true secret to success in life, and today she wants to share it with you. The weight of expectations and inner conflict. From a very young age, Beyoncé faced overwhelming pressure. The world expected perfection from her, and with each success, each award, the demands grew. At the height of her career, surrounded by luxury and fame, she realized something devastating. She didn't feel complete. How could she? She had dedicated herself so much to being flawless for others that somewhere along the way she forgot about herself. The inner conflict between her public image and her real identity was overwhelming. Insecurity hit hard, and the fear of disappointment became a burden. It was at this moment of vulnerability that she had to make a decision: continue being what the world expected, or finally embrace her essence with all her flaws, pains, and truths. The turning point. Encountering herself, Beyoncé understood that winning in life has nothing to do with other people's opinions, money, or trophies. The true triumph is being authentic, having the courage to be who you are, regardless of external expectations. She dove deep into her own story, recapturing the little girl who sang in front of the mirror, free, without fear of judgment. She understood that art is not about pleasing, but about expressing. And from that moment on, each song, each gesture, and each choice began to reflect her deepest truth. The secret to winning in life, and then comes the great revelation. The secret to winning is not perfection. It is not pleasing everyone, nor collecting external achievements. The true secret is knowing yourself deeply and living authentically. Beyoncé realized that emotional freedom comes when you free yourself from the invisible chains of other people's approval. When you understand that you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. When you decide to stop waiting for the right moment and start living now. After all, how many times have you limited yourself out of fear of what others would think? How many opportunities have you missed because you didn't feel good enough? It's time to change that. It's time to embrace your truth and free yourself. Now, Beyoncé looks at you and asks the most important question of your life. Are you ready to be you? Are you ready to leave doubts behind and embrace who you really are? If so, the time is now, not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now, comment below about the moment in your life when you felt you needed to change. Share this video with anyone who needs this message, and remember, the world doesn't need more perfect people. It needs more real people like you, like Beyoncé, like all of us. Beyoncé reveals the biggest secret to winning in life. You'll never be the same again. Life challenges us at every moment. Between glories and failures, between dreams and fears, we constantly find ourselves in front of a mirror that reflects our pain, our insecurities, and at the same time, our infinite capacity for transformation. Beyoncé, more than a star, is a living symbol of this journey. Her trajectory is marked by ups and downs, by challenges that shaped her, by tears that strengthened her, and by a resilience that became fuel for her greatness. But what really made her win? What is the secret behind her strength? What can we learn from her story to finally achieve the life we so desire? The answer is within each one of us. And today, you will discover that you will never see life the same way again. 1. The courage to face the truth. The truth is not always pretty. Sometimes it hurts. Beyoncé has always known this. Growing up in an environment of competition and expectations, she realized early on that in order to shine, she had to face her shadows first. The fears of not being enough, of failing, of disappointing. Have you ever felt this? Have you ever wondered if you are really capable? Society teaches us to hide our weaknesses, to pretend that we are fine when, in fact, we are on the verge of collapse. But Beyoncé shows us the opposite. Only when we face our own truth can we free ourselves from the invisible chains that imprison us. What about you? Have you ever had the courage to look in the mirror and face your own fears? What are you putting off? What do you need to face to free yourself? The road to success is never straight. It has curves, potholes, storms. Beyoncé faced rejection, criticism, betrayal, but she never stopped. She never let the opinions of others define her destiny. How many times have you thought about giving up? How many times have you felt that the world was not giving you a chance? The difference between those who succeed and those who fall by the wayside is not luck, but resilience. She was rejected before her career even took off. They told her she wasn't good enough. They told her she would never make it. But instead of giving up, she used every negative word as fuel for her rise. Greatness comes at a price. Success demands sacrifice. Beyoncé learned this early. What no one sees are the countless sleepless nights, the moments of solitude, the pain that had to be hidden behind a smile. The question that remains is, are you willing to pay the price for your dreams? Are you willing to give up distractions, excuses, and escapes? What separates those who live an average life from those who achieve the unimaginable is discipline, focus, and the courage to say no to what doesn't contribute to their evolution. Are you truly committed to your dreams, or do you just like the idea of achieving them? Are you willing to pay the price for the life you want? In the end, it all comes down to one decision. Who do you want to be? Beyoncé could have been just another talented girl. She could have accepted her ordinary destiny, but she chose to be extraordinary. She chose not to accept less than she deserved. She chose to become the best version of herself. What about you? Are you living your life on autopilot? Are you waiting for a miracle to happen, or are you going to decide that today is the day everything changes? The truth is that no one is going to save you. No one is going to come and change your life. That responsibility is yours. The good news is that you have everything you need inside you. The strength, the courage, the talent. It's all already. They're just waiting for you to have the courage to activate it. If there's one thing we can learn from Beyoncé, it's that life is an unfinished work of art. You are the artist. Each day is a new opportunity to paint a different future, to write a new story, to become what you were born to be. Now the choice is in your hands. Will you continue to live in fear and uncertainty, or will you finally take control of your destiny? The world is waiting for you. Your true self is waiting for you. What will you do now?